Have you ever paused to wonder, as the twilight of your years creeps closer, who will still be holding your hand when the shadows grow long? Life is a revolving door. People sweep in with laughter and promises, only to slip out again, some lingering for a fleeting season, others drifting away as time hums its quiet tune. But when the wrinkles deepen and the days slow, it dawns on you. Not everyone is meant to stay until the final note fades. Picture this: a crisp autumn evening, the air thick with the scent of fallen leaves, and you're sitting on a porch swing, reflecting on the faces that have colored your story. Who among them will still be there, sharing the silence when the world feels smaller? In this journey we're about to take together, I'm going to walk you through 5 types of people who are most likely to stand by you in old age. Those rare, steadfast souls whose bonds time can't unravel. Some might catch you off guard, while others will stir a warm flicker of recognition, nudging you to think about who's truly been your rock all along. Stick with me until the end, because knowing who stays and why might just reshape how you nurture the ties that matter most. Number 1, family members who truly care. Family. The word alone conjures images of holiday dinners, shared secrets, and the comforting chaos of voices overlapping at the table. But here's the truth: not every family member is built to last the distance. Some are tied to you by blood, but not by heart, showing up out of habit rather than devotion. Yet, as the years stack up, the ones who truly care emerge like stars against a fading sky. These aren't the relatives who pop in for a quick hello, driven by duty, their visits clipped and perfunctory. No, these are the ones who linger because they want to, because your presence still lights something up inside them. Imagine your older sister, her hair now streaked with silver, pulling up a chair beside you just to hear about your day, her laugh as familiar as the creak of the floorboards. Or maybe it's a nephew, once a scrappy kid you helped with homework, now a grown man who calls every Sunday, his voice a steady tether across the miles. These family members don't see your age as a burden or your slower steps as an inconvenience. They see you, really see you, and they show it in the small, unglamorous ways that matter. A pot of soup left on your doorstep, a patient ear when you ramble about the past, a hand to steady you when the world tilts. It's not guaranteed, though. You might have assumed family ties are unbreakable, but time reveals the cracks. Some drift off, caught up in their own lives, their visits growing sparse until they're just a name on a card. But the ones who stay, they're not there out of obligation. They're there because love, for them, isn't just a word. It's an action. They face the tough stuff with you, talks about doctor's visits or dwindling savings, without flinching. They remind you that you're still a vital thread in their tapestry, not a faded edge to be overlooked. If you've got someone like this, hold them close, nurture that bond while the days still stretch ahead. Because in the end, it's not about how big your family is, it's about who among them chooses you, again and again. Number 2, a lifelong friend who stood the test of time. Friends come and go like waves lapping at the shore. Some crash in with a roar, only to recede quietly, leaving barely a ripple. But if you're lucky, there's one who stays, a lighthouse beaming steady through every storm. This isn't the buddy who faded when the party lights dimmed, or the one who vanished when life got messy. This is the friend who's seen you unshowered and unshaken, at your brightest and your bleakest, and still pulls up a seat beside you with a grin. Think of them now. Maybe it's that kid you met in grade school, the one who shared your secrets under a blanket fort, or someone you stumbled across later in a college dorm or a dusty office break room. Time doesn't fray this thread. You might go months without a word, the silence stretching wide, but when you reconnect, it's like no time has passed at all. Their voice crackles through the phone, familiar as your favorite song picking up mid-chorus where you left off. There's no need for apologies or explanations. They know your soul's geography, the valleys you've trudged, and the peaks you've scaled. This friend isn't tethered to convenience, like a co-worker who drifts away when the job ends, or a neighbor who moves and forgets. Their loyalty is a choice, forged in late-night talks, shared tears, and the kind of laughter that leaves your sides aching. In old age, when your world shrinks to the walls of your home, they're the one who still knocks on the door or calls just to hear your voice. Picture them sitting across from you, swapping stories over lukewarm tea, their eyes crinkling with the same mischief you remember from decades ago. They don't just recall who you were, they remind you who you are, grounding you when the years blur the edges. If you've got a friend like this, you've struck gold, because in the end, it's not about how many pals you've collected. It's about the one who stays when the tide pulls everyone else away. Number 3, the partner who chose to stay. Love in youth is a wildfire, bright, reckless, full of heat and hunger. But love in old age, it's a hearth, glowing steady and warm. Less about sparks and more about the quiet comfort of shared silences. If you're blessed with a partner who stays, you've got a treasure that time only polishes brighter. This isn't the fling that fizzled or the romance that cracked under pressure. This is the one who's walked with you through every season. Spring's bloom, summer's blaze, autumn's fade, and winter's chill, and still chooses you day after graying day. Picture them now, the way they shuffle into the kitchen each morning, brewing coffee so strong it could wake the dead, or how they hum off-key to a tune only they hear. They've seen you evolve, your hair thinning, your dreams shifting, and they've stayed. Not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. They've held your hand through hospital waits and cheered your smallest wins, their presence a ballast when life rocked the boat. In youth, love might dazzle with grand gestures, but in later years, it's the mundane that binds, the way they drape a blanket over your knees without a word, or sit beside you on the couch, content just to be. Not every partnership endures. Some wither under time's weight, others fracture when the shine wears off. But the partner who stays, they're the one who keeps choosing you, even when the choice isn't simple. They know your quirks, the way you misplace your glasses, your stubborn streak, and love you through them. In old age, when solitude looms large for so many, they're your shield against the quiet. They're the voice that knows your story's every twist. The one who sees not just the lines on your face, but the life etched beneath them. That kind of love doesn't fade. It deepens, a root that holds firm when the winds howl. If you've got this, you've got a gift that makes every year softer, every moment richer. Number 4, someone you helped in the past life has a funny way of looping back on itself, doesn't it? Years ago, you reached out a hand, maybe without much thought, offering a kind word, a steady shoulder, or a nudge when someone was teetering. You didn't expect it to echo, but here they are, decades later, standing by your side when you need it most. These aren't the people bound by blood or history. They're the ones you touched, however briefly, who never forgot the warmth of your light. Maybe it's the neighbor you helped move in, lugging boxes up creaky stairs while sweat stung your eyes, or the co-worker you coached through a rough patch, your encouragement, a lifeline they clung to. Perhaps it's a younger friend, now grown, who remembers how you listened when the world turned its back. Their return isn't obligation, it's gratitude, a quiet thank you for the difference you made. Picture them now, knocking on your door with a casserole, their smile sheepish but sincere, saying, "You were there for me once. I'm not going anywhere now." In old age, when familiar faces thin out, their presence is a gentle surprise. They don't owe you anything, yet they stay, offering help without hovering, companionship without conditions. It's humbling, isn't it? To realize that a moment you barely recall, a kindness tossed into the wind, grew roots in someone else's life. They remind you that goodness doesn't vanish. It ripples, returning when you least expect it. This bond isn't about shared decades, it's about shared impact. And in their quiet loyalty, you see it. Every small act you gave mattered, building a bridge that spans years to carry them back to you. Number 5, the unexpected companion. Sometimes, life tosses you a curveball, a stranger who steps into your story and stays, defying every plan you ever scribbled. These aren't the ones you grew up with, or leaned on through thick and thin. They're the latecomers, the ones who arrive when the chapters are nearly full, yet somehow fit like they've always belonged. Maybe it's a neighbor who starts with a wave over the fence, then brings soup on a rainy day, their chatter filling the stillness. Or a caregiver, hired to assist, who lingers after the tasks are done, swapping stories over a cup of tea. Imagine this: a woman with a lilting laugh, met at a community center, who begins as a casual acquaintance, but soon becomes the one checking your mailbox when you're under the weather. There's no history here, no decades of memories, just a choice, pure and simple, to show up. They don't have to. They want to. Their presence isn't loud or forced. It's the soft click of a puzzle piece sliding into place. In a season when losses pile up, they're a reminder that connection doesn't need a long runway to take flight. What makes them special is their timing, appearing when you thought the cast was set, proving that even in life's final act, new bonds can bloom. They teach you something vital. Loyalty isn't always about roots sunk deep in the past. Sometimes it's about the here and now. Someone seeing you, choosing you, when it matters most. They're the unexpected gift, the proof that the heart's capacity for friendship never closes shop, no matter how late the hour. Final thoughts. So here we are, at the end of this little ramble, and I hope you're still with me, maybe sipping something warm, mulling over the faces in your own life. Who do you see standing beside you when the years have softened your edges? Who's already proven they'll weather the quiet with you? We don't always get to pick who stays. Life's too unpredictable for that, but we can cherish the ones who do. There's the family who love you not because they have to, but because they can't imagine not. The friend who's stuck around through every messy chapter. The partner whose hand still fits yours like it was made to. Then there's the one you helped, their gratitude a bridge back to you, and the surprise companion who slipped in when you weren't looking. They're not always who you pictured, but that's the beauty of it. The ones who stay are the ones who see you, truly, and choose you anyway. As the years roll on and the crowd thins, it's not the number of people that counts, it's the depth of the ones who linger. They're your proof that you're not alone, that your story still matters. So take a moment today, call that friend, hug that family member, thank that unexpected soul. Because in the end, they're the ones who make the long road feel like home. Number 6. The quiet strength within you. But what if we've missed someone all along? Picture this. You sitting by a window as rain taps a gentle rhythm against the glass, a mug warming your hands, and a stillness settling in. Life's taught you plenty. Who stays, who goes, but there's one companion you might not have counted: yourself. Through every twist, every loss, every laugh, you've been there, steady as the heartbeat you rarely notice. In old age, when the world quiets and the faces dwindle, you're left with this quiet strength, the you who's weathered it all and still finds a reason to smile. This isn't about solitude, it's about resilience. Remember the nights you wrestled doubt alone, or the mornings you pushed through when no one else showed up. That's you. Gritty, flawed, beautiful you, carrying on. In youth, you leaned on others, and that's good. Connection is everything. But as the years pile up, you realize you've built something too. A core that holds firm, a voice that whispers, "You've got this," even when the room's empty. Maybe it's in the way you still hum a tune from your childhood, or how you trace the lines of a photo and feel the ache and joy of what's been. This companion doesn't replace the others. It complements them. The family, the friends, the partner. They're your chorus, but you're the melody. In your later years, when silence stretches long, you learn to sit with yourself, to find peace in your own company. It's not lonely, it's powerful. You're the one who remembers every story, who knows what the scars mean, who still dreams even when the days grow short. So as you honor those who stay, don't forget to nod to yourself too. You're the thread that ties it all together, the quiet strength that's been there all along, ready to carry you through to the end.